Hello, you're listening to Paradise Preview episode 48. This episode, we're going to preview Celtic's game away in Europe against Shakhter Karagandy, away in Kazakhstan. Joining me this week, I've got the one, the only, the guy from Beyond the Waves. It's the Rev.
Hello.
So, Rev, did you manage to see the Aberdeen game on Saturday?
I did. I caught the most of it. From what I saw, how Celtic played, it was definitely, obviously getting the 3 points and the 2 goals is a good boost, before we go into a qualifier. But I think the actual, way they played with a little bit of confidence, and the game could have gone, either way at times. But, overall, I think they played pretty confidently, and I'm, looking forward to the disqualifier, in a positive manner.
My thoughts of it overall was that we're a little bit unorganised. Like the midfield, we had like Scott Brown like almost playing as a striker, and there just didn't really seem to be a lot of focus going forwards. Not a lot of organisation going forward. But at the end of the day, we did well to get to keep a clean sheet and get a 2-0 win, which at the end of the day is actually quite good. But coming against Shakhtar Karagandy in the UEFA Champions League playoffs, have you managed to find out anything about this team?
There hasn't been a whole lot I could find. A lot of the stuff that I did, find out about them was secondhand stuff. Graham going yesterday talking about their defenders on our show and how they seem to be, a bunch of big physical guys. So that's that's about all I know, the extent of it.
I managed to find quite a lot of stuff about them. Apparently, they play in Kazakhstan. They play in orange. But looking at it seriously, they beat Bate 2-0 over 2 legs, beating them 1-0 home and away. And in the games, they played a 5-4-1 formation. And basically, the main thing about them is that they have a really tall back line. Mm-hmm. It's all made of guys that are like at least 6'2", and there's 2 guys in there that are 6'5". So they've got a really strong back line, 5 at the back, and then a hard working midfield, and they play the lone striker up front. That's what it did for the 2 legs. In terms of their threats, they only really have 2 main strikers, and they don't score a lot of goals. So far in the league this season, they've scored 33 goals, and 24 of the 33 goals have been in home games. So looking at these stats, they're definitely a much stronger side at home than they are away in terms of league performance. And our 2 main striking threats is Zerkovic and Kizuniko. I think that's how you say it. His first name's Sergey. Right? He's 22-year-old called Sergey, and the guy that I mentioned, that I can't remember his name now. So taking that into contention, they're a big side, not a great attacking side, but decent at defending. Mm-hmm. How do you approach this game?
I would go, and going by how we've seen Neil Lennon play, in Europe, he likes to go with a lone striker himself, kind of pack the midfield a little bit. I'm guessing, if I was him, how he plays, I would say we'd probably go out with a 4-2-3-1. We, don't really have a good finishing striker that we can always count on, as was evident, with, like you said, with all the midfielders trying to come up and attack on Saturday. So, that could prove a bit difficult, but I think, playing with the, 3 midfielders right behind, say, put Stokesy up top as a striker, Sammy on the left, maybe Commons in the middle, and James Forrest on the right, going up against, Jamesy against, the big, tall Kazakh defenders, that might be a bit difficult, but hopefully, they're small, speedy guys. Maybe they can, get around them, or, where we don't have to rely on, lob passes to Samaras, and that's, would be our only attacking option. So, hopefully we can do a bit of a mismatch there and put our small guys against their big guys and just, beat them on the counterattack, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sort of the way I'd go for it as well. I'd basically play the same formation we played against Elfsborg in the two legs, but I'd make a few changes. Obviously, Kevin Wilson isn't playing with us anymore, so going on like the Aberdeen game, I'd probably slot Mayakolo in there, but you could also put Mulgrew in there if you want his set piece ability in there. I'd put Samaras out wide on the left. Come on, he's just not really a striker.
Right.
He likes to play it wide. He likes to have the space in front of him. That's why he did so well in the Champions League last season. I like to see him, just playing his natural position. Commons just playing behind Stokes, and I'd have Forrest out wide on the right because basically he's the only right midfielder we have at the moment. And then in the two sort of defensive midfielder positions, obviously Scott Brown and Joe Ledley. It's probably your best options there.
Agreed.
And then Ezegiri and Lustig at the fullback positions.
Yeah, no, that's the team kind of makes itself when you think about it. I mean, I would like to see Kyle out there, but he's not. There's really nowhere for him to play. Everyone else kind of takes their own position. But I mean, he would be perfect to come on. Say if this game does get physical and 65th minute, Scott Brown gets a yellow card because he went after somebody. Kyle, I think, would be perfect to bring on after that.
I think one of the key things going into this game is not conceding goals,
right.
To be honest. Having the away leg first, I think it's an advantage, to be honest. Because if you can keep it tight in the first leg and just secure, then your second leg's at home, and that's where you really win it. So if we go over there and get like a 0-0, I'd be happy with that.
Oh, definitely.
And then when they come up to Celtic Park, we have the home advantage, and then you can really win the game. But we'll win the tie.
Especially if it seems like these guys really don't score on the road. I mean, and that's within their own league. Imagine going 5 hours, over to Scotland. It's a disadvantage for both teams to travel, but it seems since we're doing it first, we kind of have a slightly better advantage to the disadvantage.
Yeah, in the league, they've played 12 away games, and they've only won 2 of them. And that kind of says something. They've scored 9 goals and conceded 15. In terms of that formation, if it's getting to about 70-80 minutes and we're under a little bit of pressure, I guess you could pull off Chris Commons and put Kyle in there and go with the 3 men in the middle. Kyle, Ledley, and Brown, which we did do a few times in the Champions League last season, actually.
Yeah, I'm all for playing it safe. If it's still a close game and we don't have to go to all out to score a goal and go up or to tie a game rather. I'm totally fine with just sitting back and defending and just playing real smart, meticulous football.
So our attacking options for this game so far, we've got 4 players who have scored 2 goals: Chris Commons, James Forrest, Georgios Samaras, and Anthony Stokes. So I think if we want to score goals, a goal over there, I think it'd be our best option would be to start the 4.
Right, and that's who you and I both pegged to be in the attacking part of the formation. So that's smart, and like I said, it seems that the team pretty much picks itself.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our gaffer be the guest.
So, taking all that into contention, what's your score prediction for this game?
I'm going to say 1-1 because I think, the team, like I said, they seem to be pretty good scoring at home, and we very well, might be on the travel disadvantage, although hopefully, they'll have a few days and, be adjusted to the time difference. But I think they might sneak one in, and I think that we can later on in the game Like I said, using just James Forrest just catching somebody on a break and just bombing down the side and score himself, make a crossover to somebody. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 1-1. And just the game itself, generally, I think would be a pretty fairly physical, hard fought game. Hopefully, I don't think it's been announced where the refs are from, but hopefully, they come from a league where, there's a bit of physicality, so they'll just let the game go. I don't see it being very personal, reprisal tackles, things like that, but I just think that, both teams would definitely get physical with each other.
Yeah, I checked up the highlights for the other games in Champions League this season, and the games have been quite physical, but the referee performances haven't been terrible.
Mm.
So my prediction for this game, we drew 0-0 away against Elfsborg. I think our problem in that game was really scoring goals. So if we go out with like Samaras playing out wide and Anthony Stokes up front, I think we might win 1-0.
I'd like that. I like that a lot. That if we bring an away goal back with us and then play it at home, that would be magnificent.
Mm-hmm. Also, who's your predicted goal scorer?
Um, I'll go with Commons.
Comes. I'm going to say Stokes. I'm going to say Stokes is going to have a decent European game. Maybe not a fantastic game, but I think he might nab us a goal.
Yeah, and that's gonna be his role. Someone needs to step up for Gary Hooper, especially if we're not going to be making any purchases this window. So if he can step up a little bit, and be, I don't mean to slag, Anthony Stokes, but as far as on the road, Champions League, if he could be half as good as Gary Hooper, I think that'd be good enough, at least for now, getting to the group stages.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this has been an Our Paradise preview. You got anything else to say, Rev, before we go?
Sorry, Graham.
Hail, hail, and keep the faith.